I get a lot of emails from our dreamers requesting more content for guys, and we thought that around and just before Father's Day would be a good time to kind of get some of that stuff out there. So we had the For the Guys bundle 2 weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, and we're going to follow it up with some more content for guys. Again, this stuff is sort of more general. We're going to dive into more specific things as we progress as a company, but right now we wanted to make sure that we kind of cover as many bases as possible. So today we've got a Cheers card. It's a little beer stein, and it's nice and dimensional, perfect for Father's Day. It could be something if you want to congratulate someone, a lot of different occasions, maybe a new father, a promotion, a new job, or whatever your guy is trying to celebrate. This would be a great card for it. So let's take a look what we have here in front of me. Very simple card. It's going to go together really quick. And I do have, there's some nice layering, and it's just a really nice layered card. Very simple, quick, but effective. And we're going to start off with the base here. This is the base of our card. I've already went ahead and folded it in half. Now, two things here that I want to discuss is we've included two different options. Okay, if you are going with this option here, which is the base option, you're going to start with this piece first. Okay, this piece is going to get glued down first. So, and you want to glue this down like so. You just want to kind of follow the outline of the little foam from the top of the beer, and you're going to get that glued down. So I'm actually not using this version, and the reason for that is because I wanted the actual content of the beer to be inked. So you're either using this version or this version. Okay, that's totally up to you. So again, I'm going to omit this piece here, but if you are using this version, you want to get this glued down first. Okay, so again, if you're using this, glue this down first. If you're not using this piece and you are doing it like I am, where you cut out these pieces instead, then obviously you want to ink them. And instead of that piece, we're going to start with our white piece. So the white piece is going to go down first if you're using this alternate, which you'll find in the extras folder. Okay, so first thing we want to do is get this white piece glued down. So this is the first thing I'm gluing in probably 3 or 4 days. So just got to kind of get my feet wet here. Okay. And this white piece here, I didn't do anything on this, no inking or anything. Oh, geez. Okay, so just kind of line that up with the existing little foam pieces, and then kind of look at the handle as well. Make sure that that is all nice and lined up, nice and flush, and then go ahead and press that down into place. Okay, so again, I'm using the extras version, in which case, if you do that, I went ahead and inked this, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to pop this into these little holes, these little cutouts here in between the white. Okay, and I did this because I wanted to ink this to kind of make it look more realistic as far as the, well, I don't drink beer anymore, but I would say that this would be more of like a, what's that beer called? I used to drink it all the time. Newcastle. It's got kind of a Newcastle-y sort of look. And what do I have on my fingers? I'm getting some dirt on there. But anyway, okay, next piece. I'm just going to pop that right in the middle. And then the actual glass, it's going to go on last. That is going to give us some nice dimension there on the card. Okay, and you may need to just kind of nudge some things in and just push them in. And we actually cut some of this with the clips and cut some of it with a Cricut. And they probably cut differently, so they may not piece together as perfectly as they would if you were consistent and cut all the pieces out with one machine, but it seems to be working just fine. Okay, so I did take this and I hit it with a nice little brown color to get that nice steep beer sort of look. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so our next layer is going down. It's going down. And again, this is a pretty simple card. And I'm just doing little circles around the little scallop / circle areas there for the foam. And don't worry about overdoing it on the glue in these little areas. Just a little bit will go a long way. Nice thin little line here and there. Okay, let me grab the handle and just line that all up nicely. Just like so. Make sure everything is nice and flush. Watch the tops there. There we go. That looks good. A really nice dimensional card that any guy or gal that enjoys a nice pint. Okay, there we go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, well, we can put the bottom together. And the bottom of our little stein here is made up of these two pieces. So let's glue, in this case, the sand color to the white. I'm just going very sparse with the glue here. It's a very thin, light little piece that's not going to require that much adhesive to stay put. Okay, so let's get that glued down. Just pop that right on top of the white piece and give that a press. Okay, now if you take a look at the card itself, you'll see there's a little, kind of like a little nub, a little cutout right there. The tip of this is going to line up with that. It should be flush with the side, and then you kind of want to make sure that it's also flush with the bottom so it doesn't stick out past the bottom. And that is how you know that you have it in the correct spot. So just a little bit of glue there. It may help to kind of lift it up. And I would put down this side first, just to make sure that you've got the alignment precise, and then kind of work over here. Keep your thumb at the base of the black part of the card to make sure it doesn't penetrate past that section or encroach over it. And then that is how that should look, okay? And now it's time to work on our little bubbles, which we're actually going to raise up a little bit using some foam squares. Now I've got, this first layer is going to go down flat actually, so we don't need to worry about pop dotting this one. You don't want to overdo it. So let's get our glue on here. And I hit this with a little bit of ink too. This is actually white glitter paper, just to kind of make the suds more sudsy. Okay, so let's just line that up with the existing little cutouts there. It's almost got like a little shadow layer for you to use as guidance. Okay, there we go. That's nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and next we've got these three pieces here, and then these two little ones. These are just kind of a little bit of foam kind of trickling down the glass here. So now I'm looking at my prototype here because I've never actually put this together, and it's going to look like this. Okay, and these two little little cloud-like balls are going to match up with these two little shadow areas here. So it's like this, and then this little nub here is going to kind of go right on top of that. Okay, and we are going to, and actually, you know what, before we do that, I think we want to put this layer down first. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so actually this layer here, find this one, it's got the little droop here at the bottom, and we're going to place that right there. I'm going to throw a couple foam squares on the back of this guy, just right in the center so that you don't see it peeking through when you're looking at it from the side. Just do your best to get that nice and centered. And let's peel the backing off. Again, I also hit this with a little bit of ink as well. So just line that up right about there. Give that a press. Okay, there we go. And next up, we're going to do this piece now. And again, these two little nubs here, little scallops, are going to line up right there. And then there's that one little one right there that lines up with this guy here. You'll see it once you kind of put it all together. You'll see it. And again, I'm going to add probably about, I think 3 foam squares will do. I'm going to try to focus them more towards the center so that they are not visible. when you're looking at it from the side, and I think that is probably enough support to keep this thing in place nice and firm, especially because this is a glitter paper that I'm using. If you have a lighter paper, you may need to add a little more, a few extra little foam squares here and there, but I think even with cardstock, that's gonna look fine. So that looks cool. And then we've got our last little piece here. Again, just take a look at this little isolated nub, as I'll call them, and that's gonna go just like that. Okay, so let's again probably get away with just 2 foam squares there. And we'll pop that off. Reveal the sticky. Okay. Get that lined up. Like so. Bam. Okay. Now, of course, the card, well, it wouldn't be complete without a sentiment on the front. So we've got our little cheers here. And we've got a red on a nice gold. Okay, and we're gonna glue this down flat, but we're gonna pop dot this out to give it a little dimension. And I'm gonna go very easy on this because it is going down on glitter, and sometimes that takes a little extra time to set because the glitter is not very porous. So I'm just gonna use some dots. And I'm just going to kind of hold it up to just make sure that I have it lined up. And then go ahead and press that down into place. Make sure it's nice and centered so that you have a nice gold border going all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to press that down lightly. I don't want to squeeze the glue out onto the gold foil. We'll let that set for a second. Open up the card. Now we do have an optional print-to-cut element for the inside of the card. That is going to just kind of get centered right in the center there as nicely as you can. I think that's fine. If you are not sure how to print and cut, you can just cut this out, write your little message, or of course you can stamp, whatever you want to do. And I would, as you're placing this, kind of pay attention to the bottom here and just make sure that it's lined up or on the same plane, I guess, with the bottom here, so it's, you know, lined up nice and straight. Okay, there we go. And that sound is the wind rattling my garage door. This is actually a second garage, detached garage that I converted into a studio. Okay, so that's all there. Now this is just kind of, these are little sticky things from the mat because this was cut this side down. So we can just brush those off. And then finally, as I mentioned, we've got our little sentiment here. And I'm gonna just take a couple foam squares, pop them towards the center, again to hide them. And just pop that off. And of course, once we get this into place, we have a coordinating envelope to go with this. And let's see, where are we putting this? We're putting, oh, you know what? Yeah, just center it right about here. Basically at the base of the little handle here, okay? And there is our card, ready to go. Now I did forget to mention something here. We do have these 2 little pieces of the foam from the beer that I forgot to put down. And you'll notice that on your piece, you don't see it on mine because we kind of made a last minute change here. So I'm using kind of a almost not fully ready version that still works, just it won't look the same as yours. You're gonna have some little cutouts here to help you with the placement of these little elements here. So I'm gonna do my best to get them in the right place, and I think it's gonna go right about here for that one. And then there's an even smaller one here that is going to go right beneath this little hanger here, this little one that's ready to drip, okay? So don't forget to put those on there. It's just a nice little touch that kind of completes this whole thing. So, and again, I'm using my little pick-me-up tool, which I just gave away 5 of these during a live stream. But there it is. There's the last little detail there. There you go. Okay, and let's take a look at the envelope real quick. Knock that out, and we'll call it a day. Okay, so envelope came like this. I went ahead and already folded everything at the score marks. This is our top flap here. And this piece is going to go right on the inside, nice even border all the way around. But what you want to do is you want to put your glue on this part first, because if you put it on the red piece, you're not going to know where not to put the glue, and you may end up getting some showing through, which we don't want. And in these little thin areas, you don't want to put too much glue in there either, because it may kind of squirt out a little bit. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put just a line of glue around the perimeter here, because I'm not exactly sure where that's going to terminate here. So just get that right in place, nice and centered. Don't encroach over this little score line area for the main top flap. Okay, so that's that. Give that a press. That looks good. And then to complete the envelope, we're just going to fold the side two flaps in, take the bottom and close that up. And a nice thin line of glue right along the very inside of this piece here. And just fold that over, press and hold for just a moment to allow it to set. Okay, and well, I think that ought to do it. Okay, so there's our envelope, and here's our card. And I always do this. I never wait until this envelope's fully dry, but that's okay. You can see it fits in there nicely, and bam. Shouldn't take more than 20 minutes or so to get this done. And that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the process, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That lets me know that you like hanging out and crafting with me. And if you make this or anything from our, I think it's called Chillin' and Grillin' or Grillin' and Chillin' bundle, we'd love to see it. So join us in the official group on Facebook by doing a search for Dreaming Tree Group, and join myself and the 12,000 plus dreamers that inspire us daily. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to crafting with you again.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.